Good evening, friends. Today we'll learn about transitive and intransitive verbs. Let us look at these two columns, first column and second column. I wrote the report. Did you see the cat? He drank milk. Versus the second column. Hari laughs. The clock strikes. The baby sleeps. Please note the difference here. I wrote the report. That means there is an object here. I wrote something. What is that something? I wrote the report. Hari laughs. There is nothing. Hari laughs something. Right. This verb laughs is not taking any object. This is an intransitive usage of verb. Right. So transitive means the verb transitive means passing over. Right. For example, this is coming from the word trans, which means across, transatlantic. Means across Atlantic, transnational, across nations. This verb, transitive means this verb is taking subject to object. It is linking subject and object. Whereas intransitive, it stops there. It doesn't pass over. Hari laughs. There's nothing here, right? Hari laughs, whereas I wrote the report. I wrote something. This is the object. In transitive verbs, there is an object. In intransitive, there is no object. The verb stops there. It doesn't take anything else. Generally, most verbs that you see are transitive verbs only. For example, did you see the cat? Did you see something? Did you see something? You saw the cat, right? For seeing, you need something, right? The clock strikes. Here, there is nothing. The clock strikes. The verb is stopping there, right? He drank milk. He drank milk. Milk, he drank something. This milk is object here. This verb is linking this subject and this object. The baby sleeps. It is stopping here. It is not the baby sleeps something, right? So the verb is stopping here. This is intransitive usage. She tied a label. She tied something. She tied a label onto the suitcase. She tied something. This is transitive because this tied is linking this she and a label. He ran a long distance. He ran. There is nothing. He ran something. He ran a long distance. Long distance is about ran, but it is not linking ran and he. Right. It is just distance. Please notice the difference. She tied a label versus he ran a long distance. She tied, you need something. That is a label. But whereas he ran something is not needed. Right. He ran a long distance. The ants fought the wasps. Wasps. Ants fought someone or something. What is that? The wasps. Some ants fight very fiercely. See, it is the same verb which is fight. In this case, it is used transitively. The ants are fighting something, right? Fighting something. Something is there. There's an object here. That's why this verb is used transitively here. It is used intransitively here. Some ants fight very fiercely. Here, there's no fighting something, right? Please notice transitive means the verb goes across from subject to object. Here, some ants fight. It is not taking something. Right. The shot sank the ship. Sank. Sank is taking this subject shot and this object the ship. It is linking, right? The ship sank rapidly. Here, this is stopping here. The ship sank. Rapidly is an adverb. We already discussed the object should be a noun, a pronoun, or a noun phrase. But here rapidly is an adverb. Right? The ship sank. Here it is not taking any object. The same verb again. The same verb. It is used transitively. It is used intransitively here. Rama rang the bell. Rama rang something. Rama is subject. Rang is the verb. The bell. Bell is the object. He rang something. The bell rang loudly. Here there is no the bell rang something. Loudly is again an adverb. Right. This is not taking an object. The bell rang, something is not happening, right? The bell rang loudly. Here, this verb is used intransitively. The driver stopped the train. The driver stopped something. This is transitive uses. Remember, transitive means passing over from the subject to the object. The verb is acting as a link. The train stopped suddenly. Here, the verb is not acting as a link between a subject and an object, and it is stopping with the subject. The train stopped suddenly. Suddenly is an adverb because it is defining or it is adding more meaning to this verb stop. The horse kicked the wall. The horse kicked something. The kicked, this verb, is linking the subject horse and the object wall. Transitive verbs, they need both subject and the object. Intransitive uses, they don't need an object. Right? This horse never kicks. The same verb kick. This horse never kicks. This in this sentence it is used intransitively. I don't eat meat. Right. I don't eat something. This is transitive usage. This eating, this verb is linking I and meat. Meat is the object here. Where shall we eat tonight? Where shall we eat? Here, this verb is stopping here. It is not taking an object. It is not where shall we eat something. This question is not where shall we eat something. The question is where shall we eat tonight? It would have been different if the question is where shall we eat dinner, let's say, or where shall we eat something. Then that something or dinner they would have been the object. But here it is not. It is not. Tonight is not the object. Right. Please notice the difference. We played chess. We played something. Right. Chess is the object. We is the subject. And played is the verb which is linking we and chess. They played on sand. Please notice the sand is not the object of this verb play. The sand is actually object of the proportion on. They played something is not happening, right? If they had said they played cricket on sand, then the cricket could have been the object and played then would have been used transitively. But in this case, they played on sand. There is no object here. So this verb is used intransitively. Just bought a new suit. Just bought something. There's an object here. Subject is just, bought is the verb, and a new suit is the object. In this case, she walked to school. There is no there's no object. She walked. She ran. In these cases, there is no object. She walked, something is not happening, right? This is not she walked something. She walked to school. The school is the object of this proportion 2. It is not object of the verb walk. Right? It is not object of the verb. She walked. Walk is used intransitively. For example, some verbs come, go, fall, die, sleep, lie. These are all actions, they denote actions which cannot be done to anything. Right? For example, he died, he slept, he lied, he fell, we went, please come, he came. All these sentences, you don't need an object. Right? They are sufficient in themselves. Therefore, they can never be used transitively. Right? He slept. Right. So most verbs are transitive verbs where there is a doer and they do something, that is the action, and then they do something to something. They do an action to something. They need an object, right, for doing that action. So, for example, we played chess. We played an object, right? An object is needed here. Let us take few more examples and try to understand whether they are used transitively or intransitively. The sun shines. The sun shines brightly. Shines is the verb. The sun is the subject. Here, there is no object. The sun shines. There is no something. Right? It is not taking any object. That's why this is intransitive usage. The boy cut his hand. Cut. Cut is the verb. The boy is the subject. His hand. The boy cut something. What is that something? His hand. So his hand is the object here. Cut is used transitively. The clock stopped this morning. Here, stop is taking the subject, the clock, and it is not taking any object. Right? The clock stopped this morning. This morning is the time. It is not taking any object. Compare it with I stopped the clock or I stopped the car. Right? In that case, that stop, compare this with I stopped the car. In this case, I stopped something. Right? It is the same verb, stopping, but in this case, the car is actually an object. Right? The clock stopped this morning. In this case, the stop is used intransitively. The policeman blew his whistle. His whistle is something. The policeman blew something. Here he blew some object. Right. So that's why this blew is used transitively. The sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east. In the east is a place. There's no the sun rises something. Right. It is not taking any object. So this rises is used intransitively. An old beggar stood by the gate. Here, staying, the stood is not taking any object. An old beggar stood. An old beggar walked. An old beggar slept. This staying, walking, sleeping, they are actions which cannot be done to anything. Right? They don't need an object. These are such actions. Standing, they don't need to be done. He is standing, right? For example, if he is standing, this action of standing, it cannot be done to anything. Whoever is standing, it is expressing about that person only. That action, that verb is not denoting an action which can be done to something else or into anything. The clock ticks all day long. Here also, this verb ticks is with respect to the clock only, the subject, that there is no object here. So this is used intransitively. I looked down from my window. I looked down. Here also. Here also there is no object. Looked. Look down. Down is the direction. Right. Compare this with I ate an apple. Here ate is directly taking this object. Right. Whereas I looked down, it is not directly taking any object. It is not I looked apple. It is I looked at an apple. Right. I looked at something. Right. I looked at something. That something is object of the proposition. It is not object of the verb. Right. When I say I looked at something, object of proposition is that something. Bring your books. What does it mean? What is the subject here? In this kind of command statements, there is an implied you, right? Bring your book means you bring your books. You is the subject, bring is the verb, your books is the object, right? For bring, you need a subject also and object also. Your books is the object here, you is the subject, and bring is used transitively. The moon rose early. Here, rose, it doesn't need an object. The moon rose. This is kind of verb which cannot be done to anything. This verb rise. It cannot be done to anything. Right. The cat sleeps on the rug. Again, this verb sleeps. Sleeps cannot be done to anything. Sleeping cannot be done to anything. The person sleeps. The cat sleeps. It cannot be done to an object. Right. That's why this verb is used intransitively. Cocks crow in the morning. This crow, again, it cannot be done to anything. This is linked only to the subject. There is no object here. There is no linking here. This crow stops here. Right? Crowing stops here. It is not going across. It is not going from the subject to the object. That's why this is also used intransitively. Your book lies on the table. Here also, this lying is not taking an object. This table is the object of this proportion on. Your book lies. Right. That's why this slice is taking only the subject. There's no object, so this is used intransitively. The fire burns dimly. In this case, the burns is not taking any object. Compare this with the fire burnt the grass. Right? Compare this with this. The fire burnt the grass, or the fire burnt the paper, or whatever. Now it is taking an object. This fire, this verb is taking an object which is the grass. There is a subject which is the fire, and it is taking an object. In this case, the fire burnt the grass. This verb is used transitively. The fire burns dimly. Even though it is the same burn, it is not taking any object. That's why this verb is used intransitively in this sentence. Time changes all things. Here, time is the subject, changes is the verb, changes all things. All things is the object here. Time changes something. What is that something? All things. Right. That's why this verb is used transitively. Transitively is the verb that connects subject and object. Right. It is an action that can be done to something. We eat 3 times a day. Compare with this. We ate bananas, let's say. We ate bananas. Compare this with it's the same verb. We eat or ate. Same verb. In this case, it is used intransitively. In the second case, it is used transitively. Right? We ate something in the second case, though it is the same verb eat. Right? Or he is eating banana. He is eating a banana. Right? In this case, we ate bananas. This verb is used transitively, whereas in this first case, we eat 3 times a day. It is used intransitively. Tell the truth. What is the subject here? Subject is implied you. You tell the truth. Subject is you. Tell is the verb. It is linking subject and the verb and the object, which is the truth. So tell is used transitively. The birds sing in the green trees. The sing is stopping here. He sang a song. Compare this with he sang a song. Here, this sang is linking he and a song. In this case, it is used transitively. In this case, it is used intransitively. The birds sing in the green trees. It is not, the birds are not singing something, right? The same verb. The little bird hopped about and sang. The little bird hopped. The little bird is the subject, hopped is the verb, and this hopped is stopping here. It is not taking an object. That's why this verb is used intransitively. My new watch does not keep good time. Keeping good time does not keep something. My new watch is the subject, keep is the verb, and it is keeping something, good time. It is not keeping something. What is the good time? So this verb is used transitively. The beggar sat down by the side of the road. Sitting, you don't need something, right? The action cannot be done to something. You sit for yourself. You don't sit, for example, these words like fall, die, sleep, sit. These are actions which cannot be done to anything, right? That sitting is done for himself only. Right. So that's why this verb is used intransitively. He took shelter under a tree. He took what? He took something. What is that something? He took shelter. He is the subject. Took is the verb. He took something. There is an object here. Right. That's why this is used transitively. The boy easily lifted the heavy weight. Lifted is the verb. He easily lifted something. This verb, the action is done to something. That's why this is used transitively. Balu wrote a letter. He wrote something. This verb wrote is linking this subject Balu and an object which is a letter. That's why this verb is used transitively. A tiny bird lived under the caves. Like we discussed, lived is one such verb. Lived is verb like this. Go, fall, sleep, play, live. These verbs, the action cannot be done to anything. The bird lived. It is living for itself, right? It is not living. The action of living is not done to something else. I know a funny man. I know something. What is that something? A funny man. I is the subject, know is the verb, and you need an object, a funny little man. That's why this is used transitively. Birds fly. Fly, this action is not done to something. Birds fly, the action is to birds only. It is not to something. There is no object here. Birds fly in the air. This fly is used transitively. Intransitively, sorry. A light rain fell last night. Compare this with light rain fell last night. There's no object here. A light rain is the subject. It fell. This fell is not done to something. Right. It is to rain only. That's why this is used intransitively. I shall bring my camera with me. Bring my camera. I is the subject. Bring is the verb. I shall bring something. What is that something? My camera. This bringing, this verb is done to my camera. Right. This is the object. That's why this is used transitively. You speak too loudly. Compare this with you speak the truth. Okay. Here, the speak is used transitively. You speak something. What is that something? The truth. But here, the same verb, you speak too loudly. This is not taking an object. It is not you speak something. Right. That's why in this case it is used intransitively. In this case it is used transitively. The dog ran after me. Ran is not an action that is done to something. The ran, this verb, it is stopping here only. Right? It is not done to something. The action of the verb is not passing from or going from the subject to the object. There's no object here. The dog ran. After me, this me is the object of the proposition after. It is not object of the verb ran. Please note this. That's why this ran is used intransitively only. Right. Hope you understood the difference between transitively and transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs, they need something. They pass over from the subject to the object. They mean where the action can be done to something. The action that is being done by the verb is done to something. Whereas intransitive verbs, they denote actions which cannot be done to anything. They stop there. Okay. Hope you understood this. If any doubts, please comment below the video and then we'll pick this up again. Thank you guys. All the best.